Slowly and gradually it starts to go down. Slowly and gradually it is like giving you a goodbye. And you're like, I don't have hope, and it is the worst phase of my life. Jack Ma bhanne vyakti, you've heard about him, one of the richest men in the world, 30 times rejected from interview before he became what he is known for today. Jack, wow, genius! हमें तो मालूम नहीं था. J.K. Rowling, depressed, very poor, before she wrote the book, genius, Harry Potter. So you, Walt Disney, number one newspaper he was told, you don't have imagination and you do not have original thinking. Steve Jobs, you know his story, thrown away from his own company. Mr. Bean, he had speech disorder. Thomas Alva Edison, he was told, you can learn nothing. 1,000 inventions or even more, you can learn nothing. Albert Einstein, he was not able to speak till age 4, until he was 4 years old or even more. He was depressed a lot of times. Beatles, they were told by recording studio ki your voice does not suit the market right now. Eminem, he was filed a case by his own mother. Eminem, he was brutally punished and was in coma for a week. Eminem, he was depressed at the same time. Abraham Lincoln lost election 8 times. His fiancée died. His business got broke down. He had a nervous breakdown at the same time, and then he became the president of the United States, the 16th president of the United States. My dear friends, we have tons and tons of stories like this. Oprah Winfrey, she was said, you are not the right person to be in the television. Shah Rukh Khan, thrown away from his apartment because he was not able to pay bills. We have tons and tons of stories like this. I'm going to read your story as well. Because every one of us, we experience some form of worst times in our life. There is a story, there is a lady, must have she was in Europe, some part of the Europe. Suddenly, some thieves came in her house. She was like speechless. Like risk, what she said was, do nothing to my children, but you can rape me. Surrendering yourself for the greater good. And then yes, the thieves, they raped her. She was in a very brutal state. The thieves went off. There came her husband. Husband on the boy, husband Isaac, he told everything. And then what the husband did was, husband left that lady. Now that is the moment in time when she would say, it is the worst phase of my life. My dear friends, worst phases in our life, they are going to happen. Maybe they are going to happen when you will see some of your family members dying in front of you. Maybe the worst phase in your life will happen. So your big dreams will collapse in front of you. The worst phase may happen in your life. So something that you truly unexpected, something that you truly did not expect in your life is completely going to go down. But worst phases, life has some plans to give us some worst phases. There are some people who experience a lot of worst phases in life. There are some people who experience it a little bit. Maybe some of you have already experienced it. Or maybe you have experienced a little bit of it and you're thinking, it is the worst. It was the worst phase of my life. But there's this song that says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You've heard that song, isn't it? Not always true. What doesn't kill you, it can make you damn weak as well. It can. It can make you weak like no one else. And what doesn't kill you, it can sometimes make you stronger like nothing else. When you are in that worst phase of your life, you've got 2 directions to go. The first direction is you go when you're hopeless. When you tell to yourself, it is my nightmare, I can live with this. So you say, now my life is worthless. That's one direction. The next direction that you walk is the direction on which you say, it happened to me. I want to make sure it does not happen to anyone else. The next direction, when you say, you say, when you say, it's not going to happen. When you say, I learned the biggest lesson of my life and I'm going to live my life with that lesson and I'm going to convert that wisdom into reality. Just like that Europe lady, then she became an activist. Rape victim she opened up an organization. And then she started rescuing and helping thousands of women all around the world. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sometimes it makes you damn weak. And sometimes, if you can convert the meaning that you get, because what happens to you, it matters less. What you take out of what happens to you, it matters more. Sometimes when you see it differently, you become stronger like nothing else. And then you can listen to that song. what doesn't kill you sometimes makes you stronger. And that's what you have become. The first phase of life. The worst phase of life. The second phase of life is what I like to call as the struggling phase of life. यस्तो खालको फेज अफ लाइफ जतिखेर तपाईको माइन्डसेट तपाईको फेभरमा छ तर तपाईको अवस्था तपाईको फेभरमा छैन. यु गेटिङ मी? तपाईको सिचुएसन, द लक, द युनिभर्स, द टाइम, द नक्षत्र, दे आर नट इन योर फेभर, बट यु आर कन्सिस्टेन्टली स्ट्रगलिङ, यु आर कन्सिस्टेन्टली फाइटिङ. फ्रिक्सन फोर्स एकदमै धेरै छ यार डियर साइन्सका विद्यार्थी. रेजिस्टेन्स एकदमै धेरै छ यार. त्यो कारणले गर्दा यु आर नट एबल टु वक एन्ड यु आर इन द्याट स्ट्रगलिङ फेज. एन्ड दिस इज द फेज when you have up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Lot of struggles you're experiencing on the way. Dear dude, people come to me and they say, Sono, dude, you're so lucky. Honestly, I feel like I have been one of the very unlucky person, literally. That is what I felt. And I know that is some of you feel as well at the same time. Just think about it. When I was, I started this thing which I'm doing right now. Spreading the word of wisdom. Nepal just go ठाउँमा जुन ठाउँमा हामीहरू हुर्केका छौँ सुन्दै उखानले आगो त आफ्नो मुढाको कुरा सुन्नु बुढाको. Don't have a degree, don't have knowledge, don't have the stories of failures to share, don't have the stories of success to share, but there are hundreds and thousands of people listening to that person, and that person is one of the highest paid speaker in the country. It was definitely not a story. Honestly, it was definitely an easy highway, not an easy highway. Yes, it cannot visibly be seen. 3 lakh janaसँग interaction, that is what our society believes. That is what most of the people think. He's going to share a speech. I'm going to share a story. That is what most of the people think. Yes, I don't share a lot of stories. I have tons of stories that's going to make people's eyes wide open. But I'm more into sharing the wisdom that can actually help and touch lives. That's me. The story of my life has been the story of underestimation. Actually, I was giving seminar on one of the colleges in the country. Sisako hall थियो भित्र गएर दामी तरिकाले सेमिनार गरेर ट्रेनिङ गर्यो. आई डु मोर अफ ट्रेनिङ्स देन सेमिनार्स एक्चुअली. द्याट्स इभन मोर पावरफुल एक्चुअली. बब्बाल भयो. भइसकेपछि कल गर्यो अर्को दिन टिचरलाई, सर अर्को दिनको किनकि 7 डेजको हाम्रो कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो, अर्को दिनको ट्रेनिङ कहिले हुने भयो. सर रिप्लाई कि हामीलाई कम्प्लेन आयो. एन्ड आई आस्क्ड कम्प्लेन के? एन्ड ही सेड कि पर्सनालिटी नभएको व्यक्तिले पर्सनालिटीको कुरा गर्नुभयो. द कन्ट्र्याक्ट इज क्यान्सल. आई वाज ड्याम एङ्ग्री अफ कोर्स. I had 2 things to say. First, I don't talk about personality. First, I talk about personal development, not personality development. First thing. Second thing, personality is 90% of who you are, 10% of how you look. Mahatma Gandhi was personality of the year. Not because of how he looked, but because of who he was. And then I asked him, hall on the bairabata complain, I go hall bhitrabata complain, sisako hall थियो. Bairabata complain. And I was like, I knew that. Dude, I'm going to see you again. I kept the phone. I was damn angry for sure. And that is just one piece of the story out of thousands of things that happen on this journey. The struggle is the part of life. And I know one thing is for sure. There has been big damn struggle. Yes, some people they say, and all those bullshit. Dude, change is the only thing constant. Dude, migration is the nature of life. These people out there, they have struggled, no doubt. These people out here, they have cried, no doubt. These people out here, they have hidden their stories from the people of their country so that they don't get hurt. These people out here, they know what it means by struggling. These people out here, they have learned the value of time. These people out here, they have learned what does it mean by patience. These people out here, they know what does it mean by policing your own potential. Struggling is one of the profoundest state of life. Why? By struggle, so what happens? You get a chance to reflect yourself. You get a chance to come out of your comfort zone. When you're struggling, you get a chance to dive into the next zone, the zone that inspires you to become better than who you are right now. The second phase of life, what I would like to call is the struggling phase of life. And now it takes us to the third phase of life, which is the so phase of life. So think of Newton uncle. Every action has equal but opposite reaction. You do this, you get that. Worst phase ma, struggling phase ma, you do this, you may not get that. Worst phase ma, you do this, you're like down. So phase ma, you do this, you get that. Neutral. You do this, you get that. Life is so fair at that moment of time, but life is not always the same. So my effort is not always going to be equal to the outcome that you get. That's the way it is. We have seen it, isn't it? There are a lot of influences. How can influence? A swimming pool like our हेर्नुस् न पानी मुभ भइरहेछ यार हावाले गर्दा मुनको ग्राभिटीले गर्दा, प्लानेटको फोर्सले गर्दा, अरु रेजिस्टेन्सको कारणले there are resistance around us, dude. Be with it. Life is unfair. Maybe it is fair, but maybe we cannot understand it. That's it. You see? Yes, that's the way I say it to myself. तपाईँको effort is not going to be equal to the outcome which you get. Sometimes it's going to be more. Bingo. लटरीमा राख्नुभयो तपाईँको साइडमा मान्छेले पाइदियो, तपाईँले 10 चोटि दिनुभयो, त्यही पनि तपाईँलाई परेन. First time उसलाई पर्दियो. Life is unfair, but maybe it is fair in a different way, the way that we may not be able to understand in this three-dimensional world. You see? The social phase of life, where it looks so fair to us. Now we go to the fourth phase of life. The fourth phase is the momentum phase of life. त्यो खालको phase जतिखेर you are giving your freaking best now. You are at your best. Circumstance राम्रो होला नहोला बाले भन, but you are at your highest now. You are at your big state now. Have you realized it? तपाईको लाइफको जति पनि प्रब्लमहरु छ, when you are in that high level of motivation, those big problems they start to look so small in front of you, isn't it? ठुलो समस्या सानो देखिन्छ when you are at that big state in your life. The state of momentum. So you are like, I can do it. Jatikhera you get inspired from that one quotation. Jatikhera you get inspired from that one role model. Jatikhera you get inspired to do it out. Jatikhera you get that one idea and you're like, I got that idea and I'm going to convert it into reality. I have that momentum now. Jatikhera तपाईं ट्रेकिङ गर्नु छ, डाँडाको टुप्पोमा गएर तपाईं संसार हेर्नु छ, you're like, wow, I'm on top of the world and I feel it now. Jatikhera तपाईं आफ्नो शरीरमा त्यो fire feel गर्नु छ, you're like, damn excited about the fire that you can feel in your heart now. The state of momentum. Every single day, find a way to have that momentum in your belly. Every single day, find a way to have that fire in your heart. Because that is something which takes us to the last phase of life, which is the fortune phase of life. Where you get it. Effort भन्दा बढी पाउन सक्नुहुन्छ. तपाईको जति पनि failure छ, there is this principle of accumulation that says जति पनि तपाईको failure छ, त्यो failure it gets stored somewhere in the hardest of the universe, and when you really need it, तपाईको राम्रो कर्म, तपाईको त्यो hard work, it is going to come to you, push you towards it, and you're like, मैले यति दिए यार यति पाए. एक हान्नुस् 10 लाग्छ त्यतिखेर. Has it happened to you before? एक दिनुस् 10 आयो यार. एक दिनुस् 20 आयो यार. यत्रो effort र यत्रो धेरै आयो यार. The fortune state of life. Life gives us those moments for sure. The point is कसैले छिटो पाउँछ, कसैले ढिलो, कसैले राम्रो समयसम्म पाउँछ, कसैले थोरै, कसैले पाउन साथ फुर्किन्छ, आफूलाई बिगाउँछ, कसैले पायो भने त्यसलाई युज गर्छ, दौडिन्छ. It is just like तपाईं एयरपोर्टमा जानुभयो भने एउटा हुन्छ सिधा हिँड्ने बाटो, त्यहाँ तपाईं मेहनत गरेर हिँड्नुस्, साइडमा हुन्छ हिँड्ने बाटो. हिँड्ने बाटोमा मान्छे अलिकति मात्र हिँड्नुहोस्, अलिकति हिँड्न सक्छ त्यो मान्छे अगाडि पुगिहाल्छ. Now you cannot say life is unfair. That is the way life works. तपाईको टाइम र मेरो टाइम it may be different. Maybe I'm in that time in my life जतिखेर I got to run. Maybe तपाईँ यस्तो टाइम आउँछ जतिखेर तपाईले प्रोटेक्सनको साथमा बस्नुपर्छ, किनकि असिना चढ्दैछ छ यार तपाईको जीवनमा. टाइम वर्स्ट चलिरहेको बेला तपाईँ 1 करोडको इन्भेस्टमेन्ट हाल्नुहोस्, डुबेन. जब टाइम इज वर्स्ट फर यु, टाइम बेस्ट चलिरहेको बेला सुतेर बस्नुहोस्, डुबेन. यु आर डिस्ट्रोइङ योर लाइफ. तर जब बाटो दौडिरहेछ त्यतिखेर तपाईँ जोरले दौडिदिनुहोस्. नाउ नो वान क्यान बिट यु. साइडमा मान्छे जति जोरले दौडियोस्, तपाईको बाटो हिँडिरहेछ, तपाईँ त्यसमा दौडिनुहोस् न. नाउ नो वान क्यान बिट यु, isn't it? The fortune phase of life. Now I'm going to give you some of the points. Try to keep it at your subconscious level. Point number 1. Define images on your head. What does it mean by that? Define images on your head. What kind of person you want to be? What kind of life you want to live? What kind of things you want to attract? What kind of person you want to become? Just to तपाईँको goals छ, wants छ आफूप्रति, त्यसको image दिमागमा clear पार्नुहोस्. So as for example, if you want to see yourself having some habits, good habits, त्यो बानी बेहोरा भएको दिमागमा image बनाउनुहोस्. तपाईलाई चुरोट छोड्न मन छ, चुरोट छोडेको चुरोटलाई हेट गरेको पिक्चर दिमागमा बनाउनुहोस्. Whatever you want to do, be, want, attract in your life, create those pictures on your head. Define images on your head. It is the power of subconscious mind that attracts those possibilities and also it influences your behavior at the same time. Are you with me on that? Yes.
Yes.
Define images on your head. Point number 2, my dear friends. Create the perception of uniqueness. And you got to understand, you already are so unique that you don't need to be unique than someone else by changing your dress code. You don't need to be different than someone else by changing the way you are. You already are different. यदि संसारमा सबैजना राम हुन्थे भने the world would be so boring. If every people were like me, I would not be necessary in this world. If every people were just like you say, you would not be necessary in this world. You are necessary in this world. Why? Because every other people are different and there is no one else who is like you. मार्केटमा लुगा त एउटै खालको छ नि, वरिपरि हेर्नुस् न कसरी एउटै लुगा लगाएको छ यार, सबको लुगा डिफरेन्ट भयो कसरी? यु आर फ्रिकिङ डिफरेन्ट. आफ्नो आई लेन्स हेर्नुस्, सबैजनाको डिफरेन्ट भयो कसरी यार? ट्विन्सहरुमा हेर्नुस् न के सबै कुरा सेम छ 100%. How are every people different? I don't know how. There may be genetic reasons, But I know there is a reason of life, and the reason of life is if you were the same, you would not be necessary, but you are different. It means you count. It means there is a reason why you are here. Create the perception of uniqueness. Point number 3, play big. What does it mean by that? तपाईं सानो सोच्नुस्, will you have problems or not? Yes. Will you have stress or not? Yes. Will you have troubles or not? Yes. तपाईं ठुलो सोच्नुस्, will you have problems or not? Yes. Will you have stress or not? Yes. Will you have troubles or not? Yes. यदि सानो सोच्दा पनि problem, ठुलो सोच्दा पनि problem, then why think small? Fair logic? सानो सोच्नु तनाव आउनेवाला छ। अर्को सिटी जानुस् बाटोमा च्यालेन्ज आउँछ। अर्को कन्ट्री जानुस् बाटोमा च्यालेन्ज आउँछ। If the emotion that you're gonna get is more or less the same, why not think big? The point number 4, think about it. Point number 4, make some goals, make some plans. After daily routine भन्दा बाहिर गएर make some goals, make some plans. After daily schedule भन्दा बाहिर गएर make some goals, make some plans. Goals excite us. Goals create excitement and passion in our heart. And then we go to point number 6, which is you gotta master the system you are in. जुनसुकै तपाईं सिस्टममा हुनुहोस्, जुनसुकै तपाईं सराउन्डिङमा हुनुहोस्, you gotta know about those surrounding. You gotta know about that surrounding, and you gotta be the master of that surrounding. The next point, keep yourself close to the best. Best मान्छेको वरिपरि हैन, trying to give your best performance no matter where you are. Giving your best no matter what you do. तपाईं कसैलाई fraud हान्दै हुनुहुन्छ, give your best. You're having food, give your best. You're reading something, give your best. You're listening to someone, give your best. No matter what you do, keep yourself close to your highest. Keep yourself close to your best. And then the last point on this is, understand the rule of the 6 P for your career. The first P is, जस्तो खालको तपाईले काम रोज्नुहुन्छ, this is the best, one of the best formula I've heard. Copyright song button. The first P is, whatever work you work, it has to define your potential. तपाईको क्षमता तपाईको कार्यले define गर्नुपर्छ first. तपाईं जुन जस्तो करियर रोज्नुहुन्छ त्यो करियर रोज्नको लागि you have to be passionate about it as well. That should define your passion at the same time. तपाईं जस्तो काम गर्नुहुन्छ that should give you some sort of pride at the same time. A sensation of pride. P number 3. तपाईं जस्तो खालको काम गर्नुहुन्छ P number 4, it should give you some sort of money as well, profession. Although you may turn out to be a frustrated guy. The next P is तपाईं जस्तो खालको काम गर्नुहुन्छ, it should give you progress. If there is no progress, there is no momentum. If there is no progress, there is no greenery. If there is no progress, there is no growth. If there is no progress, there is no life. And then the last P is, it got to give you some form of purpose as well. You should feel like this is the purpose of my life. You should feel like this is the purpose of my game. The people who organize this event, the people of Thriving Souls, Mr. Neeraj, Mr. Samir, Mr. Ruben, Mr. Sumit, Mr. Abhinesh, Mr. Subrat, the 6 people, Sonia, I met her as well. I mean, they work so hard for this event. And probably they're not going to make a good amount of money. Probably financially, they are on loss. But they're like, I am doing this because there is a reason. I am doing this because this is a cause. I am doing this because this is one of my purpose at the moment of time.